Which team you think has more pressure on them in this first round? Is it the Lakers or the Clippers?
Well, listen. Well, first of all, I think the Clippers have more pressure, but I thought the question, essentially was going to be who should we be more worried about?
More worried, we'll say.
That's right. And I think we should be very, very worried about the Los Angeles Lakers because I think that Portland's on a roll. I think they can score against anybody, and their strength happens to be the Lakers' weakness right now because of guard play and perimeter shooting. The combination of the two things in today's NBA games can really, really send you home. When I think about the Clippers' depth with what they bring to the table against Dallas, and considering as great as Luka is, he's a rookie, I'm not as worried about the Clippers right now. I look at the Los Angeles Lakers. Dame Dollar can explode. C.J. McCollum is screaming at folks, he can't guard me, he can't guard me. Like Chris Paul did back to Jason Kidd in the day when he was in New Orleans playing for Byron Scott after Jason Kidd had basically had Byron Scott booted out of New Jersey, and then Chris Paul went all over, just went haywire against Jason Kidd. We saw C.J. McCollum put on a show, particularly in the last two games, and definitely Saturday. And the way they're shooting the basketball with Melo, drilling key jump shots, with Nurkic playing the way that he's playing offensively. If the Lakers are not on their game in terms of hitting perimeter shots, regardless of how poor Portland's defense may be, you can still beat the Lakers if the Lakers can't make perimeter shots. And so that's what I'm looking at right now. I think that the Lakers obviously are going to win the series, but I think it could go 7 games, and I think they could be in a world of trouble, again, if they're not playing efficient enough basketball on the offensive end of the floor, because the one thing I am not worried about with Portland is their ability to put up points, no matter who they're being defended against. That's my issue right there. I would say the Lakers have a greater cause for concern.
First of all, let me just say I think both LA teams are advancing, and I think the Lakers will advance a little easier than people realize. I just don't believe in Portland's defense. Again, with everything on the line, and the Nets really having nothing to play for, and down so many guys that their whole starting 5 almost wasn't playing. Forget about just KD and Kyrie. Really, Portland was lucky to beat the Nets. I'm sorry. Lillard has been the best player in the bubble. He has been. And he has that. You just smell it on him. He wants it so bad. I understand fearing Damian Lillard. LeVert got a look. He just missed the shot. It wasn't the greatest shot in the world. It wasn't the worst either. An excellent player just missed the shot at the end of the game. That's not that was out of Portland's hands. So they got a little lucky. You got to say that. To even get there against a team that had nothing to play for because they play no defense. Stephen A., you can score on them at will. And I don't see the Lakers losing 4 out of 7 games to a team like that. The Clippers, however, although I also like them in their matchup against Dallas, because Luka Doncic is not a very good defensive player. I know Carlisle recently has said that he's gotten better, but he's not a good defensive player. And also Luka is not a great shooter. Lillard is shooting from all over the place and doing these amazing things and hitting at a very high percentage. Luka's not been hitting a lot of shots. He takes a lot of shots, and he's a great overall offensive player. But he could shoot it a little better. But he gives me the sense, just like Lillard before he'd actually done it, gave you the sense, ooh, that dude just looks to me smells like a killer in crunch time. Luka gives me the same impression. And beyond that, Porzingis is a matchup nightmare. The reason he's been impressive in the bubble is because, don't forget, when he got hurt, he was still getting better, Porzingis, with the Knicks. He was already a defensive monster, changing the entire other team's offense when he was on the floor. But offensively, he was a whole lot already, and he was still kind of raw, actually, as many skills as he had. He was still getting better. So the kind of injury he has, usually it's a year off and then a year to get back to where you were. Because of the shutdown, he's had a little extra time. So it looks to me like he's now at that level where he was when he left off, and meaning he's trending upward. 3? He's 2 inches taller than Kareem, but takes 7 threes a game and hits 35% of them. Can block shots. He's a 20-10 guy as a big in this NBA. He's just a matchup nightmare. So I don't love either of these teams against the LA teams. I think they're actually both in trouble. LA presents bad matchup, both teams, for the Mavs and Portland. But if I had to say who had a better shot, actually, it's the Mavs.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.